On November 13, 2008, Carleton University professor Dr. Hassan Diab opened his door to a horde of screaming RCMP officers who had come to arrest him. However, he had not been charged by Canadian authorities. He was not even being charged. Rather, he was arrested pursuant to a request from France for an investigative hearing to determine whether or not he should stand trial for a terrorist bombing in Paris that occurred in 1980. 28 years after the fact, without any charges in the Canadian system, without eyewitnesses, and without any material evidence, he was jailed in Ottawa for 140 days in the notorious Ottawa Carleton Detention Centre, OCDC, before he was even extradited to France. That was just the beginning.
Despite Ontario Superior Court Justice Robert Meringer stating that Dr. Diab's trial in France would likely be unjust and calling the case against him weak, Justice Meringer was left with little choice but to extradite Dr. Diab under Canada's weak extradition law. Dr. Diab was then sent to France, where he spent 38 months in maximum security prison. But Dr. Diab never got a trial. After waiting more than 3 years, he was released when 2 French judges stated that the evidence against him was weak and did not warrant a trial. But Dr. Diab's ordeal was still not over.
In Canada's justice system, one can only be prosecuted if there is a reasonable prospect of conviction. In Dr. Diab's case, an Ontario judge found that the case against him was weak. In France, 2 investigative judges found that his case did not meet the evidentiary threshold to be sent to trial. However, French prosecutors appealed the dismissal of his case, and in January 2021, an appealed court ordered him to be tried. Journalists who were not present at the scene of the crime were summoned to give their impressions of Hassan Diab's guilt. Unsourced secret intelligence was tendered by the prosecution, and no new evidence was introduced. No official transcript exists from the trial. On April 21, 2023, a French trial court entered a conviction against Dr. Diab, based merely on its subjective belief of his guilt, and not based on proof beyond a reasonable doubt. A conclusion that undoubtedly would be unconstitutional in Canada.
How can you help Dr. Hassan Diab? 1. Go to justiceforhassandiab.org and sign one of the petitions to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to keep his promise to prevent Hassan Diab's extradition. 2. Join a letter-writing campaign at the International Civil Liberties Monitoring Group to refuse a second extradition request for Dr. Hassan Diab following the unfair Assize Court decision on April 21st, 2023. 3. Learn more about extradition law in Canada. 4. Tell your friends and family about Dr. Diab's story and the flagrant injustice he has faced from both France and Canada. Encourage them to act.
But don't just take our word for it. Over 130 Canadian lawyers and human rights advocates agree that Canada must resist agreeance to any request for Hassan Diab's extradition.